My name is Rachel Brindell. I am 18 years old. I'm a freshman at the University of Maryland. I'm the oldest of 3 children. I live in Tenafly, New Jersey, and I have never eaten a cheeseburger. This is because I keep kosher. People who keep kosher are generally on the more religious side of Judaism. And according to the Jewish Virtual Library, kashrut is the body of law that focuses on what food we may eat and how this food must be prepared. And according to Herbert Danziger, author of the meanings of the keeping kosher, views of the newly orthodox, keeping kosher doesn't mean natural, it doesn't mean clean, but what it does mean is prepared in accordance with the Jewish ritual law. So though there are many specific rules, people tend to follow them in their own ways. So I have many friends that consider themselves kosher that will have separate sets of silverware but will have the same dishwasher. And I have friends that consider themselves kosher that order in non-kosher foods but will only eat it on plastic silverware. So there are many defining factors of kashrut, but the 3 main factors are what animals are considered kosher, the slaughtering process of these animals, and the separation, or the necessary separation, of the dairy and meat. So in terms of kosher animals, the first thing I will talk about today is the 2 qualifications that all kosher animals must fit. And these qualifications are that they both have cloven hooves and that they must chew its own cud. And the animals that do not fit these qualifications, such as the pig, the camel, the hare, and the rock badger, are considered non-kosher animals. Animals that do fit these qualifications, such as the goat, the sheep, and the deer, are considered kosher animals. Kosher animals in the water. Fin and scaled animals, such as tuna, carp, salmon, and herring, are considered kosher. And non-kosher animals in the water, such as shellfish, which are lobster, oysters, clams, shrimp, are considered non-kosher, as well as non-fin and scaled, such as sharks, dolphins, and the eel. Birds of prey or scavengers are prohibited, and chicken, geese, ducks, turkey, and doves are permitted. Rodents, reptiles, amphibians, and all insects are also forbidden. So now that you know what foods are considered kosher foods, it's important that you know the slaughtering process that must take place in order for these kosher animals to be considered kosher foods. So according to an article from PBS, Keeping Kosher, mammals and birds must be slaughtered in accordance with the Jewish law. And according to the Jewish Virtual Library, we may not eat any animals that died of natural causes or that were killed by other animals. And we may not eat animals that had any diseases or flaws in the organs at the time of the slaughter. Ritual slaughter is called shechita, and the person who performs this slaughter is called the shochet. And this method is painless and can kill an animal within 2 seconds, and it also completely drains the animal of all of its blood, and that is also a kosher requirement. And this method entails 1 deep stroke with a perfectly sharp blade through the neck of the animal. And I know it does not sound pleasant, but that is what it is. Now that you know that the slaughtering process and what animals are considered kosher animals, you may also know that the separation of meat and milk is completely necessary in keeping kosher. According to Danziger, the Torah tells us not to boil a kid in its mother's milk. And the Jewish people interpreted this as not mixing, or never mixing, dairy and meat products. Not only can you not mix these products, but you cannot mix any of the equipment that you may use for one with the other, meaning in a strictly kosher household, you would have separate silverware, separate dishwashers, separate towels, separate pots and pans, etc. So millions of people worldwide keep kosher, and it's important for people to understand what keeping kosher is, why people keep kosher, and what it entails, because there's so much confusion regarding the subject. Many people think that people keep kosher solely for the purposes of health and nutrition, but the fact is that people keep kosher because it's written in our law, and it's the Jewish people interpreted this as the holiest way that God wants us to eat food. So for 18 years, so many people have not been able to understand why I cannot eat a cheeseburger. But after today, I hope you can inform these people as I hope I have informed you.